Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosanna. I love all kinds of fashion. I am so excited to share this video with you today. I want to share with you the 5 bag trends of spring, summer, or if you just want to buy a new bag and you're wondering how or what to get, here it is. Okay, so we have 17 bags specifically to share with you that all fall within these 5 categories. And let's get started. So there's price points from $1 to like $4 signs, okay? Let's just go into it. Vintage resale. The first one is the Balenciaga City Moto bag. That Mary-Kate Olsen moment really never left all of our minds. It is forever a fashion icon moment, and you'll see that trend throughout. If it is a fashion icon moment, honestly, I think some of these bags will be hard to get rid of forever, okay? And you'll be able to find these bags on the resale market from as low as like a couple hundred, $500. Of course, maybe not in the most pristine condition, but do you really need it in a pristine condition when you're gonna beat it up, wear as a beater bag, wear for work, whatever? I have a Balenciaga Moto City bag that I've gotten probably over 10 years ago, and I still really like it. And back then it was like 2,000 Canadian dollars. So you can find price points from everywhere. I think that every girl should have one of these bags in their collection, no matter what color. The leather does get really soft and slouchy. The second bag I think every girl should have in their collection, and it's still missing from mine, is the Fendi baguette, okay? Come on, Sex in the City moment, that purple sequin look is never gonna be out of anybody's mind, okay? And I know that they've brought it back. You can even buy that same purple sequin bag in stores today, and on the resale market there's so many different versions of it. One thing I do want to encourage is that try not to get the classic leather black one. Fendi makes such beautiful, colorful, they always play with materials, and there's always seasonal collections. I would definitely encourage you to look at fun ones if that is for you. Maybe it's not for you, but for the girls that are, it's so gorgeous. I love the stitching, I love the sequins, I love the appliques. So definitely have a look at the fun baguettes. You can find them on resale. Maybe not as cheap anymore, but if you hunt, you'll always be able to find gold at the end of the day. The third one, which is kind of a surprising thing that I even put on my list, but I've just been seeing it on social media everywhere, and you know, I've done it myself, is vintage Coach bags, okay? So Coach bags in the last couple of years have gained so much popularity, and vintage ones, or people thrifting them, I've thrifted them, are kind of back on people's mind. And then we're like, oh, Coach actually has a really great leather, and there are some really fun Coach bags. I feel like because it's been back on everyone's mind, the Coach resale prices are getting higher, but if you manage to find a really good price, some of them are super Y2K and some of them are super cute. So looking out for their canvas ones or their leather trim, canvas with leather trims, or just all full leather ones, I think is something cute. Or maybe you'll find one in your mom's closet, okay? And in my case, I can find them in my own closet. So I think the Coach resale bags are something to look at. Okay, going into new and trend, designer collabs. The biggest designer collab that is on everyone's mind is the Louis Vuitton with the Takashi Murakami collection. The 3 main collections of Murakami and Louis Vuitton's collection is the Cherry Blossom, the Super Flat, and my particular favorite, the Monogram Multicolor. How beautiful. I know that I heard so hard to get. I didn't even try, honestly. I didn't even look at it, but just looking at all the pictures and how people are styling it just makes me so happy. If you can get your hands on any of these that you of course love, don't just buy it just because. We're trying to get past that stage, okay? We're past the buying things just because. But hey, no one said that we can't still look at things, right? So the cherry blossoms are gorgeous. I definitely love them on the classic pieces like the Speedies. They're gorgeous. And the pochette for the multicolor. I would actually die to get a pochette and a multicolor. I've been looking at vintage for ages, but I just never find one in a good enough condition, or the price just seems way too high for vintage. But now that we have this coming back, and not all the collections are fully out. One I think is actually kind of cute too is a side trunk, which is like their new design but mixing with the old multicolor. I just love it. And for the super flat, I actually like this collection probably the least, but there are a couple of the ones, the never full, that I think are really pretty. And don't forget about the accessories. So there's like the shoes, the scarves and stuff. So if you want to have a little bit of that Y2K moment with a designer collab, this is the collection to look at. The third trend of the season, and this is gonna be the bulk of all the bags that I'm gonna be sharing today. And this is coming from all the power dressing from Runway, that broad, strong shoulder, and what do you need to balance with that strong silhouette? A slouchy, timeless, non-logo, or very minimalistic logo bag, okay? Something you can carry underneath your shoulder, something that you can just throw on, something that doesn't overpower your outfit, and being really easy to wear. And oh my god, this is everywhere. Of course, there's so many designer brands that are doing this, and of course you can get something from, you can take this kind of trend idea and go somewhere else to look for the bags. But here are the ones that I want to share with you, okay? The Totem T-Lock leather clutch. Some of these prices aren't actually terrible. This one's like $900 for something that is gorgeous, very easy to wear, very timeless. We have the Miu Miu Jo bag. This is one of my favorites. People are dressing it up with charms, of course, but I actually love it just as is as well. It's very slouchy, very easy to wear, and I can feel like this is, again, all of these bags here, timeless. How many times do I have to say that word? Probably a lot. The Saint Laurent Y tote in leather. This is one of the newer bags from Saint Laurent, and way back in the day, they had a lot of these Y logo shapes patterned into their bag, and then they removed it. So this is actually going back to their archive and bring that design feature back in, and I quite like it. I love how the handles kind of come off from that top of the Y. Gorgeous. So these kind of slouchy bags go from anywhere from clutch size to large tote versions, and this Saint Laurent one, beautiful. The next is the Coach Brooklyn bag. So this is one of the bags that like got Coach back to stardom. Like everyone is looking back at Coach, something that's like a good price point, not quite like designer, but it's like really good, and the leather quality is nice. And this Coach Brooklyn bag, I actually think it's gorgeous. If even Bella is wearing this bag, I mean, it's like a nice work or go to the gym bag. And the last bag in this category that I personally want to share is the Loewe Feather Light puzzle. So the puzzle has been gone through some controversy because they had that classic puzzle, and then they did the edge puzzle, which everyone complained about because they were like, oh, they're just simplifying the puzzle pieces, making it even simpler and then charging more for it, blah, blah, blah. And then now they came out with Feather Light puzzle, which really is the same kind of construction as the classic Loewe puzzle, but it is slightly lighter. That's, I guess, why they call it Feather Light. It's also made with Napa. And so it's a little bit more slouchy, and I feel like it's a little bit more on trend, and it costs like maybe like $500 more than the classic. I've seen some reviews online. They're like, this is how my Loewe puzzle already looks like after I've used it for years. But anyways, I think the idea of it is cute. I do like the slouchiness of it, and it has like this added feature of like this little charm name tag detail on the side in different colors. So I do quite like that. So those are the slouchy bags. Okay, now we have the next trend. The fourth trend here is the east-west trend with these longer handles that you can wear over long jackets, or even just as a design feature. The first one being, of course, the Alaya Tekla bag. I have seen this on every single influencer, and I understand why. This East-West bag has actually been on my mind for a couple of seasons now, and this last season, or right now, is when everybody is literally like in it. They're like, ooh, we see you and we want you. So this Alaya one is great. Of course, there is the classic colors, and then we have these beautiful like spring pastel blue colors for spring summer too. Another one that I quite love is the Prada Bonnie bag. You know the trend is strong when you see multiple brands pretty much do the same silhouette. I love the Prada Bonnie bag. I actually love the little belts around the top edge. It kind of gives me like, I don't know, like it's almost like an outfit on its own. It's really cute. But the Bonnie bag is one of my favorites. And then we have the Miu Miu Arcadia bag. This has been around for a little bit now. It did come in, it's like the classic pillbox bag. It came in many different variations. This isn't actually my first choice anymore, but it still is strong and we still see it in the market. And Miu Miu is definitely pushing it. If you actually go and take a look at this bag in real life though, it is extremely soft, extremely puffy. I've tried it on in a couple of vlogs before, probably if I find one, I'll link one below. Super puffy, and it does feel really good, and it's very roomy inside because essentially it's just a rectangle, opens up, you can fill it to the brim if you like. And the last one I really want to call out in this trend, it's more of a influencer one again, but the Magnum Boutron one, the one with a little bit of a rose on the side. It reminds me of the Alaya one, but it is really gorgeous, and I love the iconic Magnum Boutron little rose, little corsage on the side. I think it adds a little bit of a oomph to the bag. So any one of these versions really fills this trend bucket in. The last trend I want to talk about, this one's actually a bonus because this is probably the least relevant trend, but it's one I feel is important to watch, or if you like a little bit more of an alternative bag that not everybody in the market has, but still it's quite trendy, useful, gorgeous, and it is this washed look, this washed distressed leather look with a multitude of pockets. And there is 4 bags that I want to share that is really embracing and embodying this trend to the fullest. So the first one is the Acne Studio bag. This is the multi-pocket leather shoulder bag, and it has this feminine touch with this little bow detail and the distressed leather. I love it. It comes in, of course, lots of different sizes. I went to the Acne Studio store in London recently, and oh my gosh, this bag was literally on every like little place they had free space, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. I tried it on like 3 times when I was in the store. Another one is a Balenciaga super busy slingback bag. And yes, it comes in this massive one. I think it might be part of the men's collection, but it also comes in like a small one that you can use again under your shoulder. And I feel like it is so pretty. I love it. It is definitely, you know, more trendy, but it's so cool. I feel like I would be such a cool girl if I had this bag, and I definitely want this bag. One that is more mainstream is the Miu Miu one. The Miu Miu brown pocket bag. Again, it has these like cargo pockets on both sides, has that wash distress look, cute. And the last one I want to share, which is becoming maybe the next it bag, is the Loewe camera bag. Okay, I've seen this in stores when I was traveling in Paris, etc., and I was like, what is that bag? So cool. Like, it caught my attention because I was like, oh, Loewe. I haven't talked about Loewe in a while, but Loewe is coming back. Loewe, for all their clothes and accessories, everyone is wearing Loewe. Loewe is just, oof, she's there. And this newest bag, I think, is so good. And I don't know, one to watch for sure. I love the browns, I love the blacks, and that is it for this video. So the 5 trends, we have the vintage resale, designer collab, slouchy, timeless, easy to wear bags. We have the east-west trend with the long handles. And the last little bit is that washed leather with a lot of those cargo pockets on the side. What is your favorite? Is there a bag that you are eyeing? My favorite out of all of these is, drum roll, let me think about it for a moment. You know what? My favorite bag out of this, everything that I've just listed, is probably the Balenciaga Super Busy bag and the multicolored pochette. I love both of those two. Completely different, but hey, you can never have too many bags. I hope you subscribe and like this video. It would help me so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.